All right, so I made a big assignment for you guys on Delta Math. I want you to spend some time on that, but not too much time. Like what I recommend you do is spend 30 minutes a day. This will include Thursday, which is today for you guys, and Friday, and Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday. And don't worry about getting everything done. Just spend that amount of time on it and spend it productively, 30 minutes. And what I would suggest doing is going to the Discord and doing it in groups. I'm going to see if that materializes. If I just kind of give you those instructions, there's people out there that want to interact, that want to talk about this stuff and show you their favorite emojis. And I think doing all that together could be good for mental health. The one thing that's on there that I think is not review is this concept of the difference quotient. And the difference quotient is f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. And if you don't remember what h is, right, well, in what we're talking about is a curve, and a lot of times I'm looking for the slope or the average rate of change. Well, h is this distance right here. This is h. Okay, it's the distance between x1 and x2. Okay, so if you think of what is this thing asking you, well, this is f of x, and I guess I could call this x, and I could call, instead of this as being x2, I'll call this x plus h. So this is f of x plus h. So what is this asking you? It's asking you y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is a question that's asking you for the slope. You're going to start to see it over and over again in this class, and then in calculus it comes back again. And this relates to the concept of average rate of change, and we're going to move it to the concept of instantaneous rate of change. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put x plus h in there. So what's f of x plus h? That's going to be 5 times x plus h minus 5 divided by, wait, sorry, not divided by. I want to put f of x in there is going to be 5x minus 5. So when I set this equation up, it's going to be 5x. I'm going to do 5x plus 5h minus 5 minus, and then this whole thing, 5x minus 5 divided by h. And so I can turn that to a plus, that to a minus, and that to a plus. And I'm going to get, whoa, look at this. 5x and minus 5x, those things cancel. 5 minus 5 and 5, those things cancel. And then I get 5h over h, which is 5. Okay, so what that's telling you is the average rate of change is 5. What will often, when this moves to instantaneous rate of change, that h value is a limit statement. We want the limit as h approaches 0. In this case, limit as h approaches 0 of 5 equals 5. So the instantaneous rate of change of this function is going to be 5, no matter what x is in there. A lot of times you'll end with an x. However, you might think, what is instantaneous rate of change telling me anyways? And it's only telling me the slope. And what's the slope of this line? Well, it's 5. It's going to be more interesting if we have a situation where it's not a line. Like, hey, what about this? Maybe you have a parabola. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. What's f of x plus h? Only in this case, it's going to be a little bit more involved. I'm going to have negative x plus h minus 4 times x plus h squared. This is the part that people have been telling me about. It's hard to pay attention to the videos, and I know, because it's easier to pay attention when you're there in class. There's literally nothing I can do that's going to make this part entertaining, other than put a clown costume on and videotape me instead of the math. But count sheep while I'm doing this, please. So then I get negative x minus h minus 4x squared plus, minus 4 minus 8xh minus 4h squared. What's f of x? This is negative x minus 4x squared. So I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to put it down there. Negative x minus h minus 4x squared minus 8xh minus 4h squared minus negative x minus 4x squared. And I want all of this divided by h. So this is a lot of, you can watch me do this. You can stop the tape and slow me down, or you can go back and rewatch me do this. But really the only way you're going to get good at this is by practicing this. But I want you to see this is what the process looks like. And what you should see if you've done it right is things should cancel. If you don't get the things that cancel, you've often made some kind of a calculation mistake in there that you have to go back and fix. Now, what I see here is I get negative h minus 8x h minus 4h squared divided by h. And then I can almost always do the same thing, which is all the terms in the numerator have an h in them. So what am I going to do? I'm going to factor out the h. Actually, in this case, I'm going to factor out a negative h. So I'm going to get negative h times 1 plus 8x plus 4h divided by h. And the reason I factor that out is because then I can cancel out the h. And if I were to take this and make it into an instantaneous rate of change, this would be the limit as h approaches 0 of negative 1 times 1 plus 8x plus 4h. And when h approaches 0, I can plug 0 in for h there. So I'm going to get negative 1 minus 8x. Okay, so this part right here is not asked. You're not asked to do this. So if you're confused by it, don't worry about it. It's just that's the next thing that we're going to be doing after we come back from our hiatus is talking about what's the limit of that and why is that the instantaneous rate of change. I really don't feel like I need to do another because on Delta Math, you're going to be asked to do these. This is where you're going to get the practice doing them, and you're going to be able to see the solutions when you do them incorrectly. It is important. This is one thing. If you're taking AP Calculus next year, you do need to practice this nitpicky, tedious, algebraic skills type stuff. And this is a good place for you to do that. All right. Thank you.